Elon Musk's relationship with China extends beyond business. Both parties share a mutual interest in each other. Recently, Musk created a buzz by referring to China's first stealth jet, the Chengdu J-20 Mighty Dragon, as a copycat. He believes China has a reputation for copying designs, technologies, and entire aircraft from other countries. And the J-20 is no exception. But how did this come to be? Let's explore the specifics. But first, subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon for all the latest updates. Did you know that China's J-20 was the first non-American stealth platform to enter operational service back in 1983? Yup, it's ended America's 34-year monopoly on low observability. Pretty impressive, right? But hold on a second, because some folks in the US and Russia accuse China of stealing their stealth fighter designs to speed up the introduction of their jet. While the J-20 isn't a carbon copy of any other 5th-gen fighter, there's no denying there's data and historical precedents to back up these claims. Even more interesting is that the J-20 isn't entirely a unique design. Nope, it includes parts from at least 3 different fighter programs. Maybe that's why China's made some significant economic and political moves that have allowed it to modernize and grow its military might rapidly. Just think about it. They've got over 7,170 ships and many highly effective missile systems. It's no wonder China's military has become one of the major players in the Pacific, and they're not slowing down anytime soon. A big chunk of their resources is dedicated to defending their sovereignty over the South China Sea. China's defense projects have seen significant growth quickly, but this transition has been challenging. And if you dig a little deeper, you'll find that much of China's progress is fueled by an extensive espionage infrastructure tasked with stealing technical secrets from even their friendly trading partners. Military aviation is one of the many sectors that exemplifies China's tendency to grow through theft. Take the Chengdu J-10 for instance. It's entirely based on information that China obtained from Israel in the 1980s for the defunct Levi fighter, which was, in turn, based on the United States F-16. Then there's the Shenyang J-11 and its successor, the J-16. China produced these aircraft on a Soviet Su-27 production line they bought in 1989 despite the Soviets' opposition, and their carrier-based fighter, the Shenyang J-15, is based on Russia's Su-33 platform. But China didn't buy it from Russia. Instead, they purchased a fighter prototype called the T-10K3 from Ukraine and simply reverse engineered it when Moscow refused to provide them with the aircraft's blueprints. And these are just some examples from various industries. China understands that it must catch up quickly in terms of capability if it hopes to compete with and eventually surpass the world's most powerful military forces. And they know that starting from scratch isn't necessary. Whether it's air superiority, fighter designs, or carrier strike group tactics, the goal is to take anything they can get their hands on. Did you know that China's first 5th-generation fighter is the Chengdu J-20 Mighty Dragon? Yup, it was chosen in 2008, almost 11 years after the F-22 Raptor's first flight, to serve as the foundation for the country's stealth fighter. However, the design underwent significant changes in 2014 before being deemed combat-ready and going into production in 2017. This single-seat twin-engine fighter is quite the beast, measuring 69 feet 7 inches in overall length, which is longer than the F-22's 62 feet. Its wingspan is just a hair under the F-22's 44 feet, just over 42 feet. Although the J-20 is supposed to be powered by the 5th-generation WS-15 engines that provide about 44,000 pounds of thrust each, China has had some difficulty getting them into service. As a result, the J-20s currently in use are powered by either the Chinese-made WS-10C engines, which are more current, or the Chinese-sourced AL-31 engines that deliver 33,000 pounds of thrust each. The J-20 has a combat range of 1,100 nautical miles and a service ceiling of 66,000 feet. But wait, there's more. The J-20's peak speed is listed at Mach 2. It can carry 2 short-range air-to-air missiles in small secondary bays on either side of its fuselage, along with 4 medium or long-range missiles in its main payload bay and 2 more in the secondary bays on either side. Although some compare the J-20 to the F-22 Raptor, America's undisputed air superiority fighter, it was created to serve a different purpose. The J-20 was designed to fly deep into enemy territory and conduct strikes on ground targets, which is more similar to the F-35's role. Meanwhile, the Raptor was always intended to dominate air combat. However, China has invested significant effort and resources into closing the air combat capability gap, adding innovative features like thrust vector control into the latest aircraft versions to make it a more versatile dogfighter. Throughout the 1990s, Russia was determined to match the United States' air combat capabilities, which were being developed through the F-22 Raptor project. Sukhoi's PAK-FA ultimately emerged victorious, resulting in the creation of the Su-57 Felon. However, Russia also considered 2 other stealth fighter concepts, namely the Su-47 Berkut with its forward-swept wings and the MiG 1.44, a prototype from the Mikoyan MFI program. Despite being developed in the 1980s, the MiG 1.44 was only unveiled to the public in 1999. Ground testing for the MiG 1.44 prototype began in 1994, but its development was hampered due to financial difficulties in Mikoyan. It wasn't until February 2000 that the MiG 1.44 finally took flight. Unlike traditional Russian fighter designs, the MiG 1.44's canards were positioned in front of rear-mounted wings, which provided a similar configuration to China's mighty Dragon. However, the Su-47 had a more dramatic rearward wing placement. Russia certainly took note of the similarities between these designs and the J-20, which China formally introduced in October 2016. Shortly after the J-20's unveiling, Russian state-owned media began criticizing Chengdu, where the J-20 was developed. According to Dmitry Drozdenko, deputy editor-in-chief of Russia's arsenal of the Fatherland magazine, "In my opinion, the machine is based on the Russian MiG 1.44. That plane was created to compete with the PAK-FA at the preliminary design stage and made its maiden flight in 2000. Viktor Litovgin, a writer for TASS, also chimed in, saying, "In China, they are able to copy the best models of military equipment. No doubt they know how. But we must remember that a copy is always a little worse than the original." He further compared the J-20 to the MiG 1.44, noting their similar appearances and questioning the accuracy of copied instruments and equipment. It wasn't just the Russians who took notice of the similarities between the J-20 and the MiG 1.44. Douglas Berry, an air warfare expert at the International Institute of Strategic Studies in London, also remarked on the resemblance. The back end of the J-20 looks awfully like the 1.44, as does the overall layout with delta canards. If it's a coincidence, it's a striking one. While Russia may have provided technical support, there is no concrete evidence to suggest that China had relied on Russia for defense procurement. Even before the J-20 was disclosed, Mikoyan has consistently denied any involvement in China's development of stealth fighters. However, Russian publications have claimed the opposite, stating that they have never delivered any equipment to China. This claim has been debunked, as it is clear that Mikoyan did indeed assist in the creation of the J-20. Nevertheless, it is unclear whether this assistance was provided legally. According to an anonymous source in the Russian defense sector, China gained access to documents related to the Mikoyan through illegal means. Russian analyst Adil Mukashev also confirmed this. China bought the technology for parts, including the tail of the Mikoyan, for money. While there are many similarities between the J-20 and MiG 1.44, there are also noticeable differences that suggest a mixture of stolen design components rather than complete Chinese originality. Furthermore, the J-20's technique for evading radar detection appears to be more heavily influenced by Lockheed Martin's F-22 Raptor and F-35 Joint Strike Fighter designs. It is clear that China has had access to American stealth jet ideas, as evidenced by the 2014 hacking operation in which a Chinese national in Canada stole over 630,000 aviation-related files, including blueprints for the F-22 and F-35, for the Chinese government. While the MiG-1.44 may be the aircraft that the J-20 most closely resembles from a distance, a closer inspection reveals similarities to the F-22 and the F-35, suggesting that the J-20 combines the best aspects of all three designs. Despite this, the field of stealth aviation is not as constrained as some analysts believe, leaving room for Chinese engineers to fill in gaps and improve upon existing designs. The United States must maintain and enhance its technological advantage over China, as China's economic development remains dependent on foreign nations providing it with essential electronics and capital goods. While China has been working to increase domestic technology production and lessen its dependency on imports, it still has a long way to go, as evidenced by its rising trade deficit in electrical machinery, including semiconductor chips. China's strong position in the upstream sector of the technology production network has also been limited by the United States, which has prohibited the export of semiconductor chips to Chinese technology company Huawei by South Korean and Taiwanese companies Samsung and TSMC due to the use of American technology. While many of us may use Chinese products due to their low cost, it is important to recognize that China's technology still has a long way to go before it can truly compete with the United States. So that's it for today. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to get all the latest updates.